Nandan has scored 210 marks in the interview, which happens to be one of the highest marks. And that's indeed, I would say, that vouches for your strong communication skills and the personality that you have groomed over the years. Now, let's come to the prelims is coming up. Now, civil services prelims 2024 is coming up. So, what is your advice and strategy to the aspirants? Because I think a couple of months are left only. So, what is your advice to all the aspirants who may be going through a lot of self doubt, who may have failed in prelims, may not have been able to clear prelims even once, may have been having issues with CSAT, में issue है उनको, या economics उनको strong नहीं है, या कोई भी एक particular section, या maybe they're having certain family issues, not able to study, they are in their last attempt. So, what is your advice to them? What lesson can they draw from your experience so that they are able to at least manage the minimalist strategy they can use?
If I were to tell something to them, it is just keep it simple. The more complex you make it, the more difficult it will be to clear the examination. So be very simple in the strategy that you have. Until now, what you have studied, do not add anything new. Revise as much as possible and practice as many tests as possible. This is the preparation part. And another advice which I would like to give is for the day of the examination, particularly for CSAT, because CSAT sometimes becomes tricky. So CSAT, the secret is to let go. Let go the questions that you do not know as soon as possible. We can do the maths some other day, but if there are 15 to 20 very difficult questions which you think you will not be able to do, the secret is those 20 questions have to be left within 15 minutes. You will have 1 hour and 45 minutes for the remaining 60 questions. And if you are able to attempt even 50 out of them and get even 15 wrong, you are through.
Absolutely. I think you rightly pointed out that it's important to know which ones not to attempt and rather than which ones to attempt as well. Because sometimes we get too emotional कि यार ये सवाल तो करना ही है. तो you sit on solving maybe a maths question 5 मिनट बैठ गए उस पर, तो उस 5 मिनट में आप मे बी 2 से 3 सवाल कर सकते हैं जो मे बी एंड में ईजी भी हो सकते हैं. तो आई थिंक ये बड़ी सही बात आपने बताई है कि सीसैट के लिए पर्टिकुलरली जिनका मैथ वो स्ट्रांग नहीं है, तो हाउ कैन दे प्ले द एवरेजेस करेक्ट?
इसमें आई थिंक आई वाज रीडिंग अ कपलेट अ few days ago in which the writer was trying to say that somebody who is a warrior, he will win most of the battles that he fights. But somebody who knows when to fight and where to fight, yes, he will win every battle that he fights. So I think you just need to decide which question, वो कौन सा सवाल है जहां आपको लड़ना है. अगर आप उस सवाल से लड़ेंगे जो आपको आता नहीं है और उस पर अगर आप 15 मिनट ज़ाया करेंगे, तो वो एक उर्दू की कहावत है कि वक्त बर्बाद करने वालों को वक्त बर्बाद करके छोड़ेगा, उसको हालात ही ना छोड़ेंगे जो खुद को हालातों पे या यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स के सवालों पे छोड़ेगा.
एब्सोल्युटली, वेरी राइटली, वंडरफुली सेड, वंडरफुल. तो प्रीलिम्स में अगर हम जीएस की बात करें, तो जीएस की आपकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजी रहती है डिफरेंट सेक्शंस को लेके? व्हाट इज द अप्रोच?
अगेन वेरी सिंपल, जो बेसिक बुक्स हैं उसी पे स्टिक करना है, नई चीज़ नहीं पढ़नी है. जितनी ज़्यादा बार उसको रिवाइज करोगे, इन एडिशन जितने ज़्यादा आप मॉक टेस्ट लगाएंगे. पीवाईक्यूज़ पे फोकस रखिए. जब पीवाईक्यूज़ के एनालिसिस के बारे में कई बार बच्चे पूछते हैं कि एनालिसिस का मतलब क्या है. एनालिसिस का मतलब है, आप पीवाईक्यू देखिए सब्जेक्ट वाइज. सपोज हिस्ट्री की अगर आप बात करें तो हिस्ट्री का सवाल देखिए कि कहाँ से पूछा गया है, कौन कौन से वो हिस्ट्री के, मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री की बात करें तो स्पेक्ट्रम के कौन कौन से चैप्टर्स हैं जहाँ से सवाल पूछे जा रहे हैं. तो पढ़ना तो पूरा किताब है आपको, बट उन चैप्टर्स पे आपको खास ध्यान रखना है सो दैट वहाँ से अगर सवाल आता है तो वो आपको मिस नहीं करना है. तो वैसे ही जो आपकी 10 बुक्स 12 बुक्स जो आपकी हैं बेसिक, इन एडिशन आपको करंट अफेयर्स के नोट्स आपके रेडी होंगे, तो उसको रिवाइज करिए. जितना ज़्यादा रिवाइज करेंगे और जितना सिंपल उसको रखेंगे, उतना ही ज़्यादा कारगर आपकी जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो हो पाएंगे.
सो द आइडिया इज 1 book first subject, and it's like the man who has practiced a move 1,000 times is much deadlier than the one who has practiced 1,000 moves once. So that's the idea. सब्जेक्ट वाइज अगर आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या रहती है, मतलब पॉलिटी जैसे बुक लिस्ट अगर आप ब्रीफली अगर बताएं, बिकॉज देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ फ्रेश यंगस्टर्स हु विल बी जॉइनिंग बिकॉज you are giving their first attempt, or maybe they're thinking maybe in their second or third year of college. तो उनको एक आपको क्या बताएंगे कि एक बार यही बुक पढ़ लीजिए, because out of the experience they might not have to go here and there.
तो बुक लिस्ट से पहले मैं एक चीज़ बताना चाहूँगा कि बुक लिस्ट से ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि जो भी आपने बुक से पढ़ा है उस पर स्टिक करिए। ज़रूरी नहीं है कि जो मैं आपको बुक्स बताने जा रहा हूँ आपको उसी से पढ़ना है, बट शर्त यह है कि जो भी बुक से आपने पढ़ा है, सपोज हिस्ट्री मैंने रमेश सिंह से पढ़ी है, आपने कि नितिन सिंघानिया से पढ़ी है तो नितिन सिंघानिया से स्टिक करिए। ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने आपको बोला कि रमेश सिंह से पढ़ी है मैंने, तो आप अपना नितिन सिंघानिया में 80% आप खत्म करके आप रमेश सिंह पे जंप करें।
राइट।
तो जहाँ से भी आप पढ़ेंगे माइनर वेरिएशन हो सकता है सोर्सेज में, बट द सीक्रेट इज जहाँ से भी आपने पढ़ा है उसी पे टिके रहिए, उसी को बार बार रिवाइज करिए। एक आध क्वेश्चन आपने PYQs में या फिर अगर आप प्रीलिम्स में देखेंगे कि जो आपकी किताब से नहीं है, उसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आप अपना सोर्स बदल दें। आप वैल्यू एडिशन कर सकते हैं बट आपको सोर्स बदलने की जरूरत नहीं है।
राइट।
अभी मैंने जो सोर्सेज यूज करी हैं, हिस्ट्री के लिए मॉडर्न के लिए स्पेक्ट्रम, मिडिवल के लिए सतीश चंद्रा, एंशिएंट के लिए RS शर्मा, ये 3 बुक्स जो हिस्ट्री की पढ़ी है। इसके अलावा मैंने हिस्ट्री की कोई किताब नहीं पढ़ी। ज्योग्राफी की अगर बात करें तो NCERT इंडिया की और फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी 2 ही पढ़ी हैं। GC लियोंग की किताब है जिसके सेलेक्टिव कुछ चैप्टर्स मैंने पढ़े हैं। इसके अलावा ज्योग्राफी का भी मैंने कोई किताब नहीं पढ़ी है। इकोनॉमिक्स की बात करें तो रमेश सिंह जो कि बड़ी अच्छी किताब है, मैंने इससे ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ा है। कुछ बच्चे बोलते हैं कि नितिन सिंघानिया पढ़नी चाहिए, वो सजेस्ट करते हैं, तो वो आप पे डिपेंड करता है। एम है कि आप जो भी बुक पढ़ें उस पर स्टिक करिए। उसके बाद पॉलिटी लक्ष्मीकांत सब सजेस्ट करते हैं, तो लक्ष्मीकांत इज द बाइबल। उसके बाद हम बात करें आर्ट एंड कल्चर की, तो वो भी मैंने नितिन सिंघानिया से पढ़ी है। इसके अलावा आई थिंक एनवायरनमेंट के लिए हमने शंकर IAS की किताब पढ़ी है, वो भी काफ़ी सेलेक्टिवली पढ़ने की ज़रूरत है। उसके अलावा इट्स ऑल करंट अफेयर्स।
राइट।
यही लिमिट।
अफेयर्स कहाँ से पढ़ना चाहिए कुछ?
करंट अफेयर्स मैंने विजन से पढ़ा है, इनसाइट से पढ़ा है, बट मेरा एडवाइस यही है कि कोई भी एक सोर्स का मंथली कंपाइलेशन उठा लीजिए, वहाँ से अपने नोट्स बना लीजिए, और वंस वो नोट्स आपके रेडी हो जाते हैं, प्रीलिम से पहले 5 से 6 रिवीजन आपने उसकी करनी है और मॉक टेस्ट लगाने हैं। दैट इज द सीक्रेट।
देखिए मॉक टेस्ट की भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा रेलेवेंस होती है। समटाइम्स स्टूडेंट्स फील दैट सिर्फ टेस्ट लगाना है, वो नंबरों से हताश हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज जो मॉक टेस्ट कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स के होते हैं they don't reflect the UPSC का actual exam. They are just made by maybe people who are also like preparing for the examination also. तो what is your advice to them कि कितने mock test लगाने चाहिए और mock test को use किस तरह से किया जाए अच्छे से?
सबसे पहले देयर इज नो फिक्स नंबर कि आपको 50 लगाने हैं 60 लगाने हैं। आप जितना मैक्सिमाइज कर पाएंगे उतना कम है। मेरी तरफ से आप 50 लगाइए 100 लगाइए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बट आपका रिविजन इफेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए। और गिवन जो आपके पास टाइम बचा है उसमें आप जितना मैक्सिमम लगा सकें, कोई लिमिट नहीं है। नंबर इज कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो बिना मॉक टेस्ट लगाए भी क्लियर करते हैं, कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो 70 मॉक टेस्ट लगा के क्लियर करते हैं। तो वो आप पे डिपेंड करता है कि व्हाट इज द गुड नंबर फॉर यू। मॉक टेस्ट लगाने का जो एनालिसिस है दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। मॉक टेस्ट लगाने का जो सबसे पहला एम है वो ये है कि आप वो जो 2 घंटे बैठने का जो पीरियड है, आप अपनी बॉडी को उसको साथ अडाप्ट कर लीजिए, सो दैट जो एग्जाम के 2 घंटे हैं जिस दिन आप बैठोगे तो आपको मेंटली कोई ऐसे लेथार्जी ना हो कि आपको 2 घंटे बैठना मुश्किल ना लगे। इसके अलावा जो दूसरी चीज़ है, आपको आइडेंटिफाई करने की ज़रूरत है। जब आप 15-20 मॉक टेस्ट लगाएंगे, पूरा उसका रिकॉर्ड बनाएंगे, तो फिर यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई कि ये सब्जेक्ट मेरा स्ट्रांग है, ये सब्जेक्ट मेरा वीक है। तो जो वीक सब्जेक्ट्स हैं उस पर ज़्यादा फोकस करिए। तो इस तरीके से आपको धीरे धीरे बिल्डअप करना है, और बिल्डअप करते करते आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कब आपका प्रीलिम्स क्लियर हो जाए।
एकदम। और इस UPSC की तैयारी के दौरान एस्पिरेंट्स generally, because civil services preparation demands a lot out of you. You have to be secluded from the society or maybe your friend circle, because it demands as such, because you have to put in serious effort. So sometimes you feel dejected or depressed and you have no one to talk to those, So what is the advice to those people to keep a good friend circle? Because sometimes being in bad company is even worse than being alone. So what is your advice to them?
देखो, सबसे पहली चीज़ जो निराशा की बात करी, तो बच्चों को ये समझने की ज़रूरत है कि UPSC की तैयारी अगर कोई कर रहा है तो वो एक अपना डिसीजन है। तो उसके बाद अगर आप अपना डिसीजन लेने के बाद अगर आप किसी को कहेंगे कि मैं निराश हूँ, तो वो आपको उस चीज़ की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी पड़ेगी। दूसरी चीज़, आपने फ्रेंड सर्कल की बात करी, तो फ्रेंड सर्कल यस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। आपको फ्रेंड सर्कल बहुत ही वाइजली चूज़ करना है। अगर जैसा मैं कई जगह बात करता हूँ कि अगर आपका कोई फ्रेंड है और आपको एग्जाम से कुछ दिन पहले बोलता है कि चलो हम पढ़ाई छोड़ के कुछ और करते हैं, तो वो आपका दोस्त है नहीं। तो वो आपको यूपीएससी आपको ये भी सिखाएगा कि कौन आपका सही दोस्त है और कौन नहीं है। तो ये जो लेसन है, जितना जल्दी आप सीख लीजिए उतना बेहतर है। अपने आप को उन लोगों के साथ रखिए, उन लोगों के बीच में रखिए जो आपका परफॉर्मेंस बूस्ट करे, ना कि आपका परफॉर्मेंस नीचे लेके जाए। तो आई थिंक उस चीज़ के बारे में भी थोड़ा-सा आपको ध्यान रखने की ज़रूरत है।
What is the idea people get into relationships and all these things during preparation phase? So, can one maintain both? Is it like, what is your suggestion to them? Because generally, this is the most vulnerable phase of the youth as well. Because you're into long hauls of preparation, sometimes you need support or emotional, support. So, what is your suggestion to those people also?
I think more than me giving any suggestion, it is up to them, because at the end of the day, it is a situation which can be productive also and which can backfire also. The only thing is, how do you respond to this situation? There may be somebody who falls into love with during the UPSC, and both of them push each other so hard that both of them become civil servants. It might happen the other way also. So it is up to you. I am no one to give any relationship advice, but yes, whatever you do in life, if you take the responsibility for that, you are not going to falter on that.
Absolutely. So, from prelims, moving on to mains, what was your optional subject? And overall, how did you prepare for GS, mains, essay, all these things?
My optional has been philosophy. And philosophy, I started way back in 19 when I started with the basic books. I read the basic books, I read the PYQs, and then I started making my notes. So based on the notes, I compiled it, and once notes were ready, so all I was required to do was revise and write as many tests as possible. In terms of the mains, the other GS subjects, if I talk about GS 1, 2, 3, all the things that we have covered in the prelims, barring that, whatever the portion is left in the syllabus of the UPSC mains, I made a list of that. And based on that list, I started making notes of that. A very crisp 1-page note. So once that was done, we had the notes for the entire syllabus. So after that, it's very simple. Just revise that and practice as many tests as possible. If we talk about GS 4, that is ethics and essay, but the preparation of both is somehow related. You just need a database of very good examples, some good quotations, and then you need to develop your writing skills by looking at the answers of some toppers as well as just reading some good literature.
All right. Let's take a break. थोड़ा
1, 2, 3 star.
तो अभिनंदन, जैसे आपने बताया है कि आपका ऑप्शनल फिलॉसफी रहा है, तो जिसको हिंदी में हम दर्शन भी कहते हैं, फिलॉसफी में एक एग्जिस्टेंशलिज्म का एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, जिसमें हाइडेगर एक कॉन्सेप्ट देते हैं, एब्सर्डिटी ऑफ ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस, दैट मैन्स लाइफ इज लाइक अ राफ्ट इन द ओपन सी, कि जो इंसान है वो अपनी ज़िंदगी की एब्सर्डिटी से परेशान होता है, और जो इमिनेंट डेथ है, बीइंग इनटू लाइफ एंड बीइंग इनटू डेथ की बात करते हैं वो, कि वो फील दैट, वो कहते हैं ना कि someone tells that a person who has been diagnosed with cancer, and one morning someone asks, how do you feel that you are dying? And she responds that, what makes you feel that you are not? So what is the idea of life if we were to delve deeper into the existentialist ideas of existence? What do you think?
Again, it is a very subjective interpretation. Philosophy itself says that there is no one absolute idea. I believe that the whole purpose of life is to add some value to yourself and to the people around you, and leave a positive mark, not in terms of what the material world says, but like imprinting yourselves in the hearts and minds of people. Yes, life is a raft in the open sea. There will be challenges. दुख भी आएंगे, दुविधाएं भी आएंगी, but despite that life will go on. तो I think जो ह्यूमन लाइफ का एसेंस है वो ये है कि अपने आप को एक उस दिशा में लेके जाना है जहाँ से आपको चीज़ें जो आपके दिमाग पे, आपके जहन पे फ़र्क डालती हैं, वो धीरे धीरे आपको उससे ऊपर उठने की कोशिश करनी है। एंड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम यू हैव टू make yourself so immune to things that your peace of mind is not disturbed. So I think अगर आप बात करें जिंदगी की, तो जिंदगी का एम है कि एक पीसफुल एग्जिस्टेंस की तरफ हम बढ़ें, और जब हम पीसफुल एग्जिस्टेंस की तरफ बढ़ेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली हम एक लास्टिंग इम्पैक्ट जो हमारे आसपास के लोग हैं उनके जीवन में लाने में कामयाब हो जाएंगे।
बिल्कुल सही बात है। जैसे आपने ये बात कही कि देयर इज नो एब्सोल्यूट आइडिया, एंड टेकिंग दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन फॉरवर्ड, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ अनेकांतवाद इज in Jainism. They explain this example of multiple ideas through the example of the tail of the elephant and the blind man and the elephant. That a blind man sees a different part of the elephant and thinks that is the elephant. We are all those blind men. I believe the allegory of the cave Plato has also said the same thing. That our conception of the world is limited to what we can see. Because human intellect is limited, so to say. And it is the extension of the cogitation that we have, the extension of that ability of cogitation to realms that far exceed human consciousness. And when we delve deeper into these ideas, we understand that what we were 5 years ago and what we are today may be different, and what we will be 5 years from now will be entirely different. Because the atoms that we are made of today, the place that we are existing today, 100 years now from now, this place may be inhabited by somebody else. The atoms that make us may be flying somewhere into the cosmos. So absolutely correct that there is no absolute idea. You have to find your own thing, and that's how you evolve as a person. So how do you think that, what is the essence of philosophy as a subject, and as a student of philosophy, what are the 3 things that you would advise to the youth who feel disillusioned at this moment? Particularly if we talk about Akhnoor also. This gentleman who is running a newspaper, he approached me and told that you are getting into drugs. There is no vision for life. What is your advice to those youth who need some guidance, who need those lighthouses to tether their ships to the shore?
I think more than the advice, the only thing that they need to be told is they have infinite potential. पोटेंशियल की बिल्कुल भी कमी नहीं है। कमी सिर्फ ये है कि एक कदम लेने की, कदम अंधेरे से रोशनी की तरफ।
एकदम।
और वो कदम लेना मुश्किल नहीं है। कदम लेने के लिए हम सबको आगे आना पड़ेगा, उनका हाथ पकड़ना पड़ेगा। बट हमारा हाथ पकड़ना सिर्फ काफ़ी नहीं है, उनको वो अंदर से, वो अंतरात्मा की शक्ति को एकाग्र कर, एक विल पावर की जब हम बात करते हैं, उसका उनको प्रदर्शन करना पड़ेगा। और उनको एक जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात जो अपने जहन में रखने की ज़रूरत है कि वो एक ऐसे देश के युवा हैं जो सदियों से अपने सिद्धांतों से लड़ता हुआ आज भी खड़ा है। अंग्रेज़ों जैसी शक्तिशाली जो सरकार थी उसको भी हमने निहत्थे भारतवासियों ने अपने घुटनों पे ला दिया। तो हम एक ऐसे भारत की पीढ़ी है, ऐसे भारत के नौजवान हैं जो हारना जानता नहीं। तो जब हम इस चीज़ को अपने दिमाग में, अपने जहन में बिठाएंगे, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हम अपने आप को कभी भी छोटा मानेंगे और हम अपने आप को ये जो अंधकार वाली जो दिशा है इसकी तरफ ले जाना चाहेंगे। बट शर्त ये है कि थोड़ा सा वो विल पावर दिखाएं, और दूसरा उनको एक मेंटर चाहिए, एक रोल मॉडल चाहिए जो उनको वो जो रोशनी है, वो उसकी जो चकाचौंध है, उसका जो सम्मान है, उसके बारे में हल्का सा उनको बता सके।
Absolutely right, you said, but sometimes what happens is the problems that youth face, the practical problems of life, of bread and butter, sometimes that is too much for them and they don't have the courage to lift themselves out of the darkness. Sometimes they may have a troubled childhood, maybe their parents may not be earning enough, or they may be forced into situations that shake their entire being. In those situations, they may become wary of drugs. They may get into drugs. And once they fall in that vicious circle, I mean, it's difficult to get a youth back from that situation. Even rehabilitation centers are there, a lot of career counseling, psychological counselors are there. But still, this hydra is spreading its tentacles far and wide. And it is a matter of great concern. Because I wouldn't like to say, but maybe the administrative agencies have to be more vehemently targeting this to, uproot this menace root and branch. What do you think?
Absolutely, problem is actually grave because it is not just here. It started in Punjab and it has spread to Rajasthan. It has spread to Jammu and Kashmir. It has spread to Northeast. So it is not just a domestic problem. It is a geopolitical problem. But we as the members of, we as the citizens of this country, all of us, it is not just the administration. It is the civil society. It is you. It is me. It is the teachers. It is the shopkeepers. It is the night watchmen. Everyone has the responsibility. The moment we see a youth getting involved in such activities, immediately bring it to the notice of the people. फौज में एक सबसे महत्वपूर्ण प्रिंसिपल है रोको और टोको. If you find somebody getting indisciplined, check him immediately. So I think that is what needs to be done. The moment you find somebody getting involved, don't think that he is not my responsibility. I am not concerned. He is the young man or young woman of this great country. He is your responsibility. So I think all of us need to do that.
Right. But see, looking into the geopolitical context of things, India is at the center of the global geopolitical churning that's happening currently. If we look at our northeastern frontier, we have proximity to that Golden Triangle. In the northwest, we have Golden Crescent. Afghanistan has been the cradle of methamphetamine, one of the popular synthetic drugs. Myanmar on the other side. Plus, the inimical agencies, ISI, maybe CIA, KGB, all these agencies which have to further their strategic interests, they try to disrupt India's moral fabric and create subversive activities. So along with these, psychological counseling and uplifting the youth, we have to amp up there as well. Don't you think that somewhere we are failing on that aspect as well?
That is true, but I am of the view that first we need to get the house in order before we go outside. So I think the security agencies and the administration, along with the civil society, first we need to nip the evil in the bud right here. And of course, diplomatically, we can take the issues because these are complex issues. These are matters of very complex networks of money laundering, and a lot of things are happening.
Right.
That is something which will take time because that has international ramifications. Different countries are involved. But at the outset, we need to check and make our house in order.
Absolutely, we have to make our house stronger. At the same time, use the track to another diplomacy channels also to further our strategic interests. For the last 2 to 3 years, the world has seen a lot of catastrophe. If I were to say, the wars have been happening, be it Ukraine war with the Russian aggression there, or more recently, the Hamas attack on Israel, followed by the very, very rude Israelis. And more recently, we saw how, after the Damascus embassy of Iran was crushed by the Israeli forces, allegedly, that is what they said, Iran launching a series of drone attacks. So we are seeing a lot of churning happening. How do you see, or what do you see the role of India? Because we project ourselves as the leaders of the global south. We cannot just be sitting on the fence and think that we are the leaders. Also, in geopolitical circles, if you're not on the table, it is said that you're on the menu. We successfully concluded the G20. We put our lunar probe on the South Pole successfully, becoming the first country. So we are making strides. But do you think we need to do more than just this?
I think the foreign ministry is doing a really commendable job on that front. As far as the wars are concerned, these are very complex issues having historical baggage. And yes, we have a role to play. But more than that, we have a role to play as to be able to ensure that the dialogue between the conflicting parties take place. So we have to be taken into consideration when we take the stance.
Rightly, as our Prime Minister Modi in his UN address also mentioned, Swasti Astu Vishwasya, which meant that we belong to everyone and we have a contribution to make as well. So, Abhinandan, now coming back to the UPSC thing again, there was this tweet by an aspirant that 12 attempts, 7 mains, 5 interviews, and still he couldn't make it. So, in the world full of success stories, you know, how do you think there's the importance of celebrating failures or maybe recognizing them as well? Also, UPSC is just another exam. It is just one of the ways that we can serve the society. If around 10 lakh people write the exam, hardly 1,000 make it. So, what is the idea for them? Because the noise around the social circle is too much that sometimes people get blown around by that. So, those people who may be missing narrowly and they have invested years of their life, what is your advice to them also to not just put their worth just on just one written examination or one examination? Because what you learned over the year is much beyond just that the result of a particular exam. So, what do you think?
I am very strongly of the opinion that one exam, as you said, cannot define our worth. You are no different from somebody who's made it. So the point is that this exam has taught you certain things which take you into the league of top 1 to 2% of the people who know what the preamble of the country means, what the constitution means, what history is, what are the interpretations. So I think first thing is you need to compliment yourself for having fought for so long.
Absolute.
And as far as the thing goes that you mentioned about somebody mentioning 12 mains or all those things, be proud of that. And at the same time, you need to be very sure that when and where you fight, the earlier thing we mentioned, you need to be very wise. 12 attempts, if you have given, I'm sure that after 5, 6 attempts, you must have started preparing or started some other jobs also. So you need to have some kind of flexibility in the life, because life is not just about one exam. As you mentioned, UPSC is just a gate.
Pitting all your things on one thing is definitely not a good idea.
UPSC is not the destination. That is absolutely sure.
Absolutely.
UPSC is just one platform which will help you to do certain kind of job,
Right.
certain kind of work.
Right.
Today, in the age of technology, if you have appeared for 10 mains, you have an expertise in which you can impact 1 million lives in India.
Right.
So use that knowledge, use that power to influence people in a positive way. So I think failure, if taken in the right sense, it is actually the recipe for being the most wonderful individual that people see.
And I would further that as long as we are alive, there are no failures, there are only learnings. Recently, last few weeks back, there was this news item that a young boy from Kota preparing for JEE commits suicide. Another IIT graduate earning upwards of 30 lakhs. He commits suicide. So what is this thing? What is this thing? Because sometimes we, equate success with certain shallow parameters. So what is it that we need to vehemently, further? Sometimes it's also said that suicides are murders, collective murders by society. Maybe society isn't accepting. Maybe there is some amount of awareness that needs to be created to parents also. That don't just put too much pressure on your wards. Let them flourish in their own way.
In a way, I think the whole ecosystem is to be blamed. But at the same time, I think individuals have to stop seeking validation from something which is external to them.
Absolutely.
The only validation which we need is the validation from our hearts and souls. If we can realize that, I think no amount of pressure, be it familial pressure or the societal pressure, can make us do such things.
And at the same time, I think we need to impress upon this idea even more, that focusing on your own self-worth, I think that's how we can, lessen some amount of darkness that is there. Along with that, if we talk about, civil services, or maybe someone wants to get into the army, it's not about the glitz and glamour. I mean, what appears in the social media, the royal entry videos, or the jazz of the special forces, these are the hard yards that you might have to do when you enter the forces. I think the aspirants might as well have to understand that as well.
Life is actually not lived on social media. It is lived on the ground, where you sweat, where you give your blood, where you toil. where you fight. So I think the sooner you realize, the better for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Abhinandan, what is the role of your sister? I mean, you're very close to her. So, what is the role of her in your life? I mean, if we had to tell a little bit about her.
Dr. Neha Singh, she happens to be the like everything and anything that happens in life, right from conversations, right from she's the man of the house, she's the woman of the house,
Indeed,
she's the doctor of the house, she's the
she's the Neha
she's
Singh.
the driver of the ship that is sailing across. So the more we say, the less it is.
I mean, while we've been out for a decade or so, I mean, she's the one calling the shots. And a lot of the success that you have achieved, I think, can be attributed to her making it easy for, us to take those tough decisions as well at times.
Cannot be stated in words, I think.
Absolutely.
Is indispensable.
Absolutely. So, what about the extended family, cousins, and everyone? I mean, this success is not yours alone. I mean, this success is attributed to all of our siblings, our cousins, our extended family, people, well wishers. In fact, last time when you made it, I mean, as you mentioned in one of the interviews also, one of the principals of our parents, he's 80, 90 years old. He has no address of ours, no phone number. Somehow he finds a way. And I think this is a success that brings smiles to so many people, lightens their lives, and I think their blessings and their well wishes. I think that also.
I think more than that, it is a kind of responsibility that the way I see it, it is a responsibility on the shoulders that there are a lot of things that are yet to be done. There are dreams, not just mine, there are dreams of the people of Aknoor, of the people of Jammu, of the people of India, the young people around. So it is just an added responsibility and gives you that more fire to work more actively for them.
Also, like the impressing upon the importance of doing well in life. I mean, when we discuss about our younger cousins, I mean, we can see the same drive in them also, and they have been doing really great in their lives as well. So, what is your idea, like our friends in the extended neighborhood in Lucknow also? What is your plan and vision for them?
The vision is not restricted to Aknoor, the vision is for the entire country.
But let's first talk about our area. I mean, particularly the challenges that are being faced by the youth here, and what is your idea of making Akhnur a vibrant, what do you say, the oasis in the desert of what do you say?
I think if my qualifying the UPSC examination were to do anything as per my thinking, if I am able to give them the confidence that it is possible, not just in UPSC, in any other domain that they want to be. So I think that is the idea, that I would like them to be inspired in such a way that no problems and no challenges will ever be big enough. It is their dreams which they should target, and there's no limit. They can target anything and they can have everything that they want. So I think
Right.
that is the bottom line.
वो कहते हैं ना, अभी जिंदगी के इम्तिहान अभी और भी हैं, अभी तो नापी है मुट्ठी भर जमी, अभी पूरा आसमान बाकी है. And since you write poetry, you're an avid poet, so we would like you to share a little poetry of yours that with the audiences.
A lot of it, but I think
Few lines maybe.
the ones that you mentioned only regarding the roar of the lion. So it was written, it's a long poem. Just the concluding stanza talks about or inspires the young people to realize the lion in them. So it says that you are a lion who is born to roar. That's the title. What if there are mountains in the oceans? You are a diamond who is invincible to the core. You have the courage, and that to galore. Your story is the making of an epic lore. And my friend, you are a diamond lion who is born to roar, and you will roar and be hailed as the king of the jungle. So I think all the young people of India, all of you are lions. So don't be sheeps. So that is the bottom line.
Whom do you want to dedicate your success to?
If it were to be one individual, I think my mother. Collectively, if you to ask me, There's much more to be done for the sake of the country that we are a part of.
Right. And in fact, it was a dream of our grandfather, Ananuji, that he was always proud of us and he wanted us to do well. And our cousin Shafali as well. And our uncle, Nirmaljeet Singh, he was more like a friend to us. And I think sitting in the high heavens, they will be very proud of you today. Anything you have to say?
Nothing.
And that says it all. That says it all. So what is Abhinandan planning to do? What he does in his free time?
Hardly free time, but whenever it is there, it is more to do with interacting with people and writing poems, and still sometimes trying to be physically fit.
And what is your favorite travel destination? If you would love to visit that place, yeah, that's the book and bucket list.
Maybe somewhere in the Himalayas with a little lake and some solace.
That's more like a port. So, Abhinandan, it was pleasure talking to you. Indeed, we know you, but then bringing in new insights, you know, will be not just eye-opening for all of us, but for all the people, all the audiences who will be listening. And it's been indeed a journey full of trials and tribulations. And it is rightly said, it is through trials and tribulations that we earn our stripes, and you have earned them well and truly. And we wish you even greater success, massive success in life. Be the champion that you are. Keep inspiring us all, and keep taking this cradle of, this leadership to greater heights.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
Any concluding message for the youth?
Just be invincible.
If you just one line message.
Be invincible. You are born to be invincible, and don't be sheeps. That's it.
Absolutely. So be invincible, don't be sheeps, make your own destiny, and learn from champions like Major Abhinandan. And today I am very proud of being an elder brother, that he's made us all proud, and not just as a brother, but as a, someone who has seen him closely come through the ranks and, face adversity and how. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Major Abhinandan, who has served in the Indian Army in the Corps of Signals for about a decade. And after that, he qualified the civil services examination back to back. And a lot of insights. Do watch the podcast and share your insights, your observations in the comment section. In the next episode of our podcast with champions, we will bring another such champion, which will help you gain new perspectives in life. So until then, it's a goodbye, and I wish you all well. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.